Hi guys, today we're going to do area and perimeter of a sector. So that's continuing on from what we did yesterday, which is area and perimeter, or area and circumference of a circle. Okay, I'm going to start off with the area of this semicircle. Okay, now because I know the distance from this, what would be, if this was a whole circle, what would be the center to the outside is 5. That must mean the radius is 5. Okay. Now, if the radius is 5, we know that the diameter is always twice the size, okay, because it's going from one side all the way across to the other. So that must mean the diameter is 10. So I'm going to start off by finding the area first of all, because the area is the easier one of the two. So I'm going to say from yesterday, A equals pi r squared, which is pi times 5 squared. Whenever I put that in the calculator, it gives me a value of 78.5 centimeters squared. Okay, now that is the area for a whole circle. I don't have a whole circle, so I have to divide that answer by 2. Okay, so 78.5 divided by 2 equals 39.2. Or sorry, 39.3 centimeters squared. Okay. The next thing I want to find the perimeter, which is the distance around the outside, and I'm going to use our formula for circumference for that. So C equals pi d. I know that the diameter is 10, so I can say pi times 10, which is 31.4 centimeters. Now, because again it's a semicircle, I have to divide that by 2. So 31.4 divided by 2 gives me 15.7 centimeters. Now, the difference with this one is that that's not actually finished, okay? All I've found by dividing the circumference by 2 is the distance from one side of the semicircle round to the other. Okay, I haven't found the perimeter. I found half of the circumference. The perimeter, as we know, is the total distance around a shape. So what I found out is that this little bit here that I've written in green is 15.7. So from like so, okay. I then need to add on the diameter, which I know is 10. Okay, so my final perimeter is 15.7 plus 10. That's 25.7. Okay. I'm going to do another one, okay? So, 12 centimeters is our length going the whole way across. That must mean that is the diameter. So the diameter this time is 12, which means the radius must be 6. The area is pi r squared, which means pi times 6 squared. Okay, I'll put that in my calculator. That gives me 113.1. And again, because it's half a circle or a semicircle, I have to divide that by 2. So 113.1 divided by 2. 56.5. That's my area. Okay. Next, I'm going to go for the perimeter, and I'm going to use my formula for the circumference. And I know that C is pi d. Okay, so the diameter is 6, so that is pi times 6. Sorry, diameter is 12, pi times 12. Which is 37.69, so 37.7. And again, because it's half a circle, I need to divide that by 2, which gives me 18.8. And again, because it only finds me half of the distance round and not the perimeter, I need to add on the 12, okay? because I'll say it again, this length here is 18.2. I need to add on the 12. So my perimeter equals 18.2 add 12, which is 30.2 centimeters. So that's a semicircle. Moving on, we can have a quarter of a circle. Okay. Now, if you were to imagine that this circle continued the whole way around, okay, it would actually end up looking like this. Okay. So that 3 kilometers is actually just a radius. So I'm now going to say that my radius is 3, which must mean my diameter is 6. Okay. So I'm going to start off with the area. Area equals pi r squared, which is pi times 3 squared. Again, I'm just doing it for a full circle. Which is 28.3. Now, because it's a quarter of a circle, all I have to do is divide that by 4, and that tells me the area of that sector. .1. Okay. Again, to find the perimeter, I'm going to use the formula for circumference. So C equals pi d. The diameter we know is 6. That gives me an answer of 18.8. Alright. Now, because again, that would tell me the perimeter, the circumference of the whole circle, I've only got a quarter of a circle, I need to divide that by 4. So 18.8 divided by 4 is 4.7. So basically what that's told me is that this line here is 4.7 centimeters or kilometers. I then need to add on this line and this line, both of which are 3. So I need to add on 6. You'll find that every single time the number which you need to add on is just the diameter. Okay. So I'm going to go 4.7 perimeter is 4.7 at the diameter, which is 10.7 kilometers. Oh, I just realized I made a mistake in my first question. It shouldn't be centimeters squared, it should be kilometers squared. Okay. Right. I'm going to do another example like that. This time we've got, it's still a quarter of a circle, although you've got a line that's not, it's not the edge of the sector like we're normally used to, but it's still just a radius, okay? So we know that the radius is 0.3, and if the radius is 0.3, the diameter must be 0.6. I'm going to start off again with the easier one, area. Area equals pi r squared, which is pi times 0.3 squared. Which is I'm going to do the 2 decimal places, okay? 0.28 kilometers squared. And again, because it's a quarter of a circle, I need to divide that by 4. Which is 0.07. Moving on to the perimeter, I'm going to use the circumference again. C equals pi d, which is pi times 0.6. It gives me an answer of 1.9. Okay. Okay, and again, because it's a quarter, I need to divide that by 4. .47. Now, just like last time, all that's done is it's found me the length of this little arc. Okay, I then need to add on this 0.3 and that 0.3, so essentially the diameter. So I'm just going to go from a perimeter. Equals 0.47 add 0.6, which is 1.07 kilometers. The last type of question which you might be asked is for this. Now this is 3/4 of a circle, okay? We're just going to do it exactly the same way. Obviously you can see that must be a radius, so our radius must be 1, which means the diameter is 2. Okay, I'll start off the exact same way. Area equals pi r squared, which is pi times 1 squared, which is just 3.14. Okay, now this is 3/4 of a circle. So to find 3/4, you can do one of two things. You can divide by 4 times by 3, or you can just times by 3/4. Both will get you the same answer. Okay, whenever I do that, my answer is 2.4 centimeters squared. Okay, to find the perimeter, I'm going to use c equals pi d. So the diameter in this case is 2. That is 6.3 centimeters. Okay, and again, because it is 3/4 of a circle, I can just either do divide by 4 times by 3 or times by 3/4. And whenever I do that, I get an answer of 4.7. And lastly, to find the perimeter, I want to know what 3/4 of the circumference is. I would have to add on this length and this length, which essentially is just the diameter again. So do 4.7, add 2. Which is 6.7 centimeters. Okay guys, I know that's quite a long video, but there's quite a lot of information in there. Any questions, just give me a wee shout, okay? All the best now, good luck.